Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris? Can't hear you.
What's up, everybody?
All right, what's going on, bro? So what's happening, Chris?
What's happening? So, Rotten Tomatoes did something kind of weird today.
Yeah, what the hell happened?
So, I guess... Okay, so from what I'm hearing, and I actually saw this for myself on the website, so this is confirmed. They took away the feature that says, I don't want to see this movie. Which, for those of you who don't know, maybe you don't go on Rotten Tomatoes that much, it used to be that they had two buttons before the movies would come out that would basically say you could click, I want to see this movie, or I don't want to see this movie. And it was kind of a way for people to gauge, you know, what percentage of the audience is planning on going to see the movie and which percentage is not. Now, over the past few days, I'd say maybe over like a week or so, there's been a lot of stuff happening with Captain Marvel. And a lot of people now saying that they don't want to go see the movie.
Okay.
And a lot of that is being attributed to, oh, they're just trolling. Which... Okay, I can understand a good majority of that probably is just trolling, but there are some people out there who generally don't want to go see the movie.
Right.
You know? Now, I wouldn't have much of a problem with this because Rotten Tomatoes apparently did say that they're going to be updating the site. This is one of the features that they were going to get rid of.
Okay.
But here's my thing. They left the I want to see the movie option active.
But you can't do that, though.
But they did.
That's not fair, though.
Exactly. So my I don't want to start like a conspiracy theory or anything, but my thing is this. What are the chances that Captain Marvel all of a sudden starts to get this, like, I don't want to go see the movie, like, uptake? And then all of a sudden they're like, we got to get rid of that feature. But don't get rid of the I want to see the movie feature.
See, but you know what it did you know what that's telling me, and you could tell me I'm wrong, right? We've done a lot of casts on the ratings and Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, right? And we covered a lot of movies. That's telling me that they're fixing the rating to be a pleasant acceptance. So that way they're in good graces with Disney, no?
Inadvertently, I think that is what's happening, yeah.
So Rotten Tomatoes is fixing the rating technically, not really kind of what – I mean, that's the way I see it. Right. It's a bullshit rating.
Because I was talking to a friend of mine a little while ago, and he was of the opposite opinion. He was like, well, you know, they're trolling the movie. They don't want it to be like that. And I was like, okay, I understand that. That's all. There's a valid reason. But if you were gonna play this the right way, in my opinion, you would just get rid of the feature completely.
Yes, exactly.
You would take the whole thing down.
Whole thing has to come down.
Right. That's like saying that's like saying you have an option between chocolate and vanilla, but we're taking the vanilla option off the menu.
Right. Well, it's like, you know, YouTube has the likes and dislikes, right?
Right.
You take away the dislikes, but then the likes is still there, but that doesn't make any sense. You take both away.
Exactly. So it just seems very strange to me that all this stuff would be happening to Captain Marvel, and then all of a sudden, it's gone.
Well,
like Thanos snapped his fingers.
Let's go back for a second. You confirm this or don't confirm this, okay? Did Brie Larson come out and say some controversial stuff that kind of leans people in a negative light towards the movie?
Yes, we talked about that a little while ago. And as it turns out, because in that cast we said we're not confirming this just yet.
Right.
But no, now it's confirmed. She definitely said that.
She definitely said those things.
Now since then, they've done a bit of damage control.
Oh, I know that.
Where now she's come out and she's like, no, I didn't mean anything like that.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, I was just saying that I wanted to be more diverse. But at that same time, it's like, but that's not what you said.
Yeah, you don't want white guys to see the movie. Right. It's a feminist movie. You don't want white guys to see it, criticize or whatever.
Right. Like and I was like, she started saying that, and had she stopped there, I would have agreed with her completely.
And if we come out and get angry with that, we're trolls labeled all of a sudden.
Well, that's been the campaign. Is basically like, not directly, but it's basically like, oh, you don't agree with the movie, then you must be a troll. And it's like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
so here's my take, okay? If Brie Larson, as Captain Marvel, does not want billions of white men to go see Captain Marvel, then billions of white men should not go see Captain Marvel and see what happens, how much money it makes. Right?
That's what it would take.
I'm talking not one guy goes to see Captain Marvel.
I mean, it doesn't have to be everybody, but like
now one person.
If a big portion of the, because look, I don't care if the movie is about, women or men. This is a superhero genre. The superhero genre is normally targeted towards men.
Right.
Okay? Now, if a large portion of that audience did not go see it,
right,
you're damn right that somebody at Disney would be like, what happened?
Exactly.
And then they would be like, don't do it again.
But see, this is my take too, Chris. I don't give a crap about all these things going on with the Me Too and all this other shit. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about the Captain Marvel movie and her saying something that pisses off the huge portion of the fan base, right? Forget about, women need to have more of this. We're not going into any of that, okay?
No.
She pissed off. I'm a fan, a huge Marvel fan, right? Huge. And I've been for a long time, okay? I didn't see one Marvel movie in the thing. It was Ant-Man or Wasp. But besides that, I go see all of them, right? I would definitely go see this because this is connected to Avengers Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
The moment she opened her mouth and said, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that she wants people of diversity to go see the film. She doesn't want just white guys going to see it, and it's not for them, right?
It was the press stuff that she wanted to be more diverse.
I understand that, but
not the general audience, but the press release stuff.
But you never, okay, nobody in history has ever had the ability to censor the critics. People who perform in plays, they have no right to say who I want to criticize the play or not. Nobody does. She has no right as an actress to say, I don't want white guys reviewing my movie. You can't do that. I don't care if you're a female or what. Nobody has that power, right? So
I just want to clarify. She said just. She doesn't have an issue with them going. She just doesn't want it to be just them.
Okay, but
this is the part. The reason I'm pushing back a little bit is because this is the part that I agreed with until she opened her mouth again.
I don't think she should say anything. Then I was
like, no.
I don't think she should say anything, and Disney should be a damn ashamed of themselves for not going against her. They should have went against her. I don't care who she is.
I honestly think that the reason that this got this far is because Disney is behind this.
Well, you know what? They have been messing up lately as far as I'm concerned, and they're only going to mess this up too. And they're too stupid to realize what's going wrong. And I think, honestly, that's the case. They are too stupid to realize that they're pissing people off. So you know what? Don't go see. Then you know what? Let's see who sees Captain Marvel now.
See, this has been my issue with Captain Marvel. I basically categorize my gripes with the marketing because I haven't seen the movie yet, obviously, but the marketing and my gripes fall into basically three categories. One, the marketing hasn't really been that good. The trailers haven't enticed me to go see it. No. That's on a more technical level, though. So that's like, it just doesn't look like an exciting movie to me. That's my personal opinion. That doesn't affect the movie at all.
To me, it didn't woo me. Like Ragnarok, they had a nice soundtrack. It was funny. It was like, this didn't woo me at all. It's like, oh.
It's very dull. It's really dull when you look at it. So that's my first one is that, the marketing just didn't affect me at all. But that's me. That's not the movie's fault. That's just, hey, I don't think it looks exciting. My second gripe is my main thing, and this is kind of the thing that feeds into the third one. I get very skeptical when I start hearing over and over and over, this is the most powerful character in Marvel. She's the most powerful hero in Marvel. She's more powerful than all the Avengers. She can time travel. She can do that. That to me sounds like, oh, Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet? Well, here's somebody who doesn't need it and can still beat him.
Right.
And it's like, I know that's not what they're saying directly, but when I hear that, I start going, so what are you trying to say? Is she going to be the reason that this all resolves itself?
Oh, I hope not.
Which I still don't.
That's not the way it's supposed to be, though. That wasn't the way it was supposed to be originally.
I know.
Maybe she was supposed to help out, which was, cool, a new person. Wow, this person's awesome. But not taking the spotlight away from 10 years worth of build-up to her.
And then this feeds into my third issue that I have. It's like, okay, so you're saying that she's like powerful to like the 10th power or something like that. Like, why is that?
Yeah.
Is it because she's a female character? Or is this actually something in the story that you're going to say, yeah, and now basically it's like this. Are you doing this for a PR thing? Or are you doing this for the story?
Well, let's just go into the story for a second, right? She is one of many members of the Kree army, right?
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't she wear the negabands, which the original Captain Marvel wore, that has the powers besides the powers she already has?
I don't think so. In the movie, anyway. Because I've read...
I think they're called the negabands, right?
I've read... I don't know if this one was completely true, but I actually believe it more now that I look back at the marketing. After I read this, there was like a supposed plot leak that came out for the movie. And so far, all the sources that I normally go to are saying, yeah, that's it. I know how she gets her powers.
Okay.
If this is true. And it does explain why she's so powerful.
Okay.
But at the same time, it also is like, well, if that's how she got her powers, then there's no way she should be as powerful as Thanos. Because, and you can probably extrapolate what I'm saying from that. Like, okay, so she got her powers this way, but Thanos...
What's the big deal if we reveal how she got her powers?
Because it's supposed to be the twist of the movie.
Oh. Okay.
Like, okay, I'll say this. If you watch the trailer, if this plot leak was real, if you watch the trailer, you see her getting her powers in the trailer. And it's not when the things are going into her temples. That's not when she gets her powers.
Not when she's chained up like this?
No. I'll give you a hint. She's in her flight suit when she's still an Air Force pilot.
Oh, well, they saw that. Yeah, something happens, right, to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you look at what's happening to her in this specific scene, there's more than enough evidence there to be like, oh, that's where she gets her powers. We've seen that already.
All right.
Yeah. So I get it.
Well, let me ask, can I ask you a stupid question? Stupid question. They're not going to say something like the Avengers in the future send something in the past that gives her her powers. They're not going to do something stupid like that, right?
No.
Like they do something, then she gets powers, and it kind of alters it up. No. All right.
No.
Okay, good.
There is a thing that we have seen before that is the origin of her powers in this movie, apparently.
Okay. All right. So she's very, very powerful, more powerful than anybody for some reason. Okay. But still,
allegedly,
even though she's more powerful, how has she experienced more than anybody to use those powers?
Well, from the trailers,
it's one thing to have all those powers.
Yeah.
But to get the experience more than anybody.
So from the trailers, it looks like Jan-Rog trains her.
Okay.
Because I've seen a clip of the movie that's on YouTube, so this is not a spoiler, where they're training in hand-to-hand combat, and he gets the upper hand on her. And then she gets angry and she starts to use her like energy power in her left arm. And he looks at her and he's like, control it. And then she kind of stops and he's like, you know, there you go. Okay. So I think it's going to be, and it seemed well done. I appreciated that it wasn't just like, oh, she got her powers and all of a sudden she knows how to use them. Right. So it looks like she's going to be trained. And again, based on the plot leak I read, they answer that too. So.
Okay.
And it's not a bad answer. Like, the movie doesn't sound bad. It's just. There's a difference between reading a plot leak and then seeing how it's executed on screen if said plot leak is true.
Well, let me ask you a question. Didn't the person that. Isn't this the woman that's directing this or whatever, right?
I really have no idea.
Wasn't the person that was directing it, correct me if I'm wrong, like, didn't want like the flashy stuff, like the greatest soundtrack, the this. They wanted to stand on its own without any added stuff to it.
I really don't know.
Okay.
I didn't hear that.
Because I got to tell you, I'm watching it and I'm like, nothing is appealing to me with the music.
Yeah.
The dialogue isn't thing. The thing looks too CGI. Like, it looks like Attack of the Clones on crack.
So that's that scene when she's flying up into, you know, like she's leaving the orbit and then she is blasting all that.
Fake.
It looks bad.
It looks Attack of the Clones, Cyborg, Justice League.
Yeah.
Like bad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's not possibly anybody but a computer's effect.
I mean,
I just, you know what? I just don't want it to be. Here's the thing. We all know that this was always a plan that she was going to be in it. But my question is, at some point in time, did the plans change with Captain Marvel to be a lot more of the defining moment, the savior, like, because of this Me Too movement and the women's movement and all these different things happened the past couple of years? Did they shape this whole political culture thing phenomenon going on? And they completely changed their original concept of Captain Marvel to fit into the ideology of today with all this nonsense.
In my opinion, personally, I don't have any evidence of this, but this is just kind of how logically that would go. I want to say that there was always going to be somewhat, like, it was always going to be somewhat like this, but I don't think it was going to be like, if it makes sense, this caliber, yeah. I think what they did was they looked at her in the comics and they settled on, okay, we're going to use Carol Danvers here. And they looked at like Binary and they were like, oh, wow, look how powerful she is. We could really do something with this. And then I don't know if it was inadvertent or anything, but they're like, hey, you know, this is, you know, if we make the most powerful character in our MCU female, that will really get people talking and it will work well with this environment today. You have to believe that there are people in Disney, and we know this for a fact, that have their hands on the pulse of pop culture and things going on in social media and just in the culture in general. They know what people are responding to, and they're trying to make sure that their movies and media and everything that they produce resonates with that audience. So right now, the thing is empowering women, which is great. And
That's fine.
But my issue comes in, it's like, don't compromise the story just to put that in there. You can still achieve the same goal by having a character show her merit just by showing her merit. Yeah. When my issue comes in and it's like, well, no, she's the most powerful character of all. Well, now you're breaking the rule of film. Show, don't tell. Don't tell us that she's the most powerful character.
Right.
Show us that she is. Why is she the most Why? Because she's female?
Right. And even if she was the most powerful, having her get her ass handed to her by Thanos would make the threat even more deadlier. That she just got her ass kicked with the Avengers. Now what do? You know
what I would appreciate, honestly, in Endgame? if they show her being like, okay, let's say there's a scene where there's a large group of Chitauri or Outriders or whatever, both, let's say, or maybe some of like a resurrected Black Order or something, and she fights them, and the Avengers see how strong she is, and they're like, oh, well, we've got you on our side now, we can beat Thanos. I would appreciate it if she said, no, I can't beat him by myself.
Right.
I need help.
But they won't do that.
Work together. I would appreciate that.
They won't do that.
But I don't think they'll do that because
she's gonna be like I'm your only hope. She's gonna say.
I honestly believe.
I bet you. What? I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna go on a limb. I bet you. She tells either Captain America, Iron Man, or Thor that she's their only hope.
I'm gonna. Can I get into like a little bit of spoiler territory here?
Yeah.
If one of these plot leaks I read for Endgame is true, she says, or not it, Thor says that exact thing to her.
What?
He says something along the lines of, if you're as powerful as they say you are our last hope.
See? That sucks. That sucks.
Now, that might not be true, but
that's going to suck.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm going to tell you right now, if they do that shit and she winds up being the cause of Thanos to lose, I'm going to tell you right now, that movie will not make more than Infinity War.
Well, I'll tell you what.
There's going to be some shit going on.
I'll tell you what. There was another one that we know is not true now, as far as we know, but it did make me nervous because the way they wrote it, I was like, I can see that happening. It was back when the
we weren't allowed to talk about it, right? Is that what you're talking about? We could not cover that.
Yeah, we can talk about it now because we know it's not real.
It has to do with Tony Stark.
Kind of put into, no.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to kind of put into perspective of kind of like how people are taking this. There was this thing that came out. Again, it turned out not to be real, but it was believable enough that it was like, oh gosh, that could happen. Where they were talking about the Super Bowl footage, what it was going to be. And there was supposed to apparently be a scene where War Machine and a couple of the other Avengers, I think Tony Stark was there with Captain America as well, and they were fighting Thanos in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said Thanos shows up, and then Captain Marvel shows up and like cracks him in the face, and he goes flying. And I was like, oh gosh. Like, please, don't do this. And then, thankfully, it turned out not to be real. But had that been real, it wouldn't have surprised me because I would have been like, yeah, well, there it is. Like,
right.
So I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what they're doing. I keep hearing that now she's the one that saves Ant-Man from the quantum realm.
Oh yeah.
Somehow, that's
so
the thing is that
he shows up with her maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my question though is, how the hell did she get into the quantum realm?
Well, she's so powerful she could be like everywhere, right?
Was she like omnipresent? Like
omnipotent, right? I don't know.
Omnipotent. If they say she's omnipotent in this movie, I'm out. I'm not going to see Endgame at that point. Like.
Well, you know what? Another thing I want to talk about too is that the fact that they want to hide Phase 4 because they don't want it to spoil anything. But the thing I'm getting is that the 3 movies after, it's like Isn't it like Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and something else?
You mean after Endgame?
Yeah. But after Spider-Man. After Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is part of... Isn't Spider-Man part of phase... Spider-Man's part of a different phase, right?
I think it's the beginning of phase, what, 4?
Is that what it is, officially?
Yeah. I think so. I think Endgame's supposed to be the end.
Right. I thought, I thought so, right?
That's what I was under the impression of.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I don't keep up with the phase stuff because technically to me it's all one phase. So, I mean.
Right. Well, I mean, the way it looks to me, and I could be wrong, but you don't have a Captain America, you don't have a Thor, you don't have an Iron Man, and you're just going to go and spend years with like Shang-Chi and Captain and Black Widow. That's not really. There's not. Yes, people want to see a Black Widow movie, right? But there's nothing major to drive me. Thor 4. Like, there's no Thor 4. There's no Captain. It's like, so now they're going to focus on these other characters that, is it going to be enough to maintain their box office draw? Probably not.
It's going to weed out the fans that are, like, in this all in and the ones that are just in it for, like, certain characters. I think.
The Eternals, who gives a shit? See, certain things, right? And this is what kills me. They never made the Eternals in the comics that big, ever. In fact, in the Avengers that I'm reading now, which is a little behind. I know the new one is 16 or 15, right? And I'm reading, I guess, 5. The Eternals are like just about all dead from the Celestials. And so, and I know that in certain comics, they put this thing in there, call the Eternal, like they purposely having people say, call the Eternals, call this because the hype, not that people know who the hell the Eternals are, right? But they're trying to get people like, what do you mean Eternals? Who the hell are the Eternals, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're not that, they're like, I've been reading comics for a long time. They're like Inhumans type thing, which if you know the Inhumans wasn't really that big on ABC and even have a movie. They're not that big it's not that great to have a movie behind it. I don't care what they do.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is kind of strike the same iron that happened with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen because they're not that. It's not. I mean, it's been around for so many decades, and they're like, eh.
Well, here's the thing, though. The comic book fans know that, but the casual fans don't know.
I understand that. But the only way I knew what the Eternals were is because Captain America dated one of them.
Well, there you go.
And that's it.
But that's
an Avenger.
They're going to change them from what they are in the comics, and they're going to try to make them more appealing for a movie. So, in that way, they're saying, yeah, it's the Eternals from the comics, but not really.
See, they're kind of shaping the comics now for the next thing of the movies because I see that already. They're doing stuff in the comics that would never happen in the comics, right? You're having Blade join the Avengers, which right off the bat takes them totally out of that element in a whole new ballgame. Right? You're having Conan the Barbarian from a different timeline, mind you, joining the Avengers. Venom and the Punisher joining the Avengers. And you're like, wow, what is this, like Police Academy? We're letting everybody in? What's going on? Like, how all these... Why would they ever be Avengers? Why would, what the hell is happening here? And I'm thinking that the subliminal thing is to get them in the movies that way. Like, build them up like Blade is an Avenger. Blade, like, it's like put all these supernatural stuff with the Avengers in there.
It's possible.
Have Avengers supernatural movie.
Well, I honestly think that there is a creative way that they could do kind of a supernatural idea. I mean, we already know that magic exists in the
Mephisto is honestly, they've been building him up big time in the comics lately.
Well, this is
deals and everything.
This is what I'm saying, right? If they wanted to introduce some kind of supernatural like movie where they go all in, like, it's completely supernatural, they could say that it's some sort of like fallout from something that happens in Endgame, where they literally messed up reality so badly that there are these like quote unquote supernatural things that are happening.
Dimension opens. A dimensional
thing. Yeah.
To Mephisto's realm or something.
I honestly think that would be a creative way to bring mutants into the MCU. Like the people that got wiped out, not all of them, but when you something goes wrong with their genes and it creates the X gene.
Right.
And then, because half the population is gone, these people that don't know what happened, right? Let's say they come back, and they're back, they're fine, but they're carrying some kind of gene because of bringing them back. They didn't bring them back perfectly or something, and then now half the population is basically breeding mutants, and they don't even know it.
Well, you know what's going to probably happen with the X-Men? It's probably going to be that something happened, and they were originally part of Marvel Universe.
Right.
Something happened that maybe they do a Legion thing where he alters the past and there's no mutants, and then somebody fixes it, and then it's all matched, whatever. Because here's the thing: they did the thing in Deadpool, which I really thought they were going to tie that in with Marvel, because he had the people fixed Cable's time device.
Mm-hmm.
And Deadpool went on. I don't know if you saw the movie, but at the end he went crazy time traveling, wrecking the timeline, doing whatever the hell he wants, and other timelines, which technically would warrant Doctor Strange getting involved, because it would affect. Yeah. So that would be the opening for the X-Men and a whole thing to be part of the MCU, because Deadpool's screwing around. And then maybe the Avengers would have to go after Deadpool to just cut the shit out, because now he mixed time so much that they all merged. Whatever. I mean,
I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do anything like that, though, because I don't think they're gonna rest the fate of their future on Deadpool. You know what I'm saying? Like.
No, I know, but see, the thing is too. The thing I'm worried about is they're gonna restart everything, which is fine, but you're going to try to do it now in the MCU, like starting everything now, like the X-Men started much later, which is weird. I don't know how that's
I think if they're going to eventually put mutants into the MCU, I really think what they have to do is make its own universe.
Yeah.
And then with the intention of it will eventually cross over with the main MCU.
Well, before they do anything, I want the Accords to be gone. Because make it that the Skrulls made that the guy that signed the Accords is not really a human, it's a Skrull, and it's wiped clean.
I think that'll be gone after Endgame.
Because that is annoying as hell. The fact that Captain America has to grow a beard, have a relationship with Black Widow, be hiding, and for years, and wasting talent like that's garbage. I hate that. Even Ant-Man, House Arrest, all that stuff. That is just a bad, even Hawkeye. Like, how do you see your heroes suffering like that when they try to save people? That annoys the shit out of me. That is the worst thing I think they've ever done with the MCU, is do that stupid Accords crap. Totally against that. I'm totally against that. I don't know.
I think Iron Man 3 might have been the worst thing they've done in the MCU.
And they never even restored the Mandarin to what that the real Mandarin is out there, which is
I think the Sokovia Accords will be gone by the end of Endgame. I really do. I think that they'll.
And you got to have a strong movie after Spider-Man. You can't have like a weak ass thing.
Well, I don't even know what's after Spider-Man.
I mean, you would have to put like Black Panther or Doctor Strange 2 after it. You can't give us like Eternals, Shang-Chi, and Black Widow. That's a terrible like lineup for the year. No, I mean, shit is gonna fail. And I'm not saying the stuff is bad. It's just like you need something in there, like an anchor. Like, how you have a mall and you have an anchor connecting the mall, like the big store. You can't just throw all new shit out there and think it's gonna catch. Like you put 2 new things out there, like Eternals and Black Widow and Shang-Chi, all in the same year. That's not gonna work. Not gonna work. So, I mean, you need something in there like a Black Panther or Doctor Strange 2, and then put stuff in there. You can't just have.
Well,
you need an anchor.
They said they're going to announce basically the future of it after Far From Home. So whatever they're planning on doing is going to be announced after that.
Well, first of all, I don't know what's going on with the Hulk rights, but they need to have a Hulk movie, proper, or fix a movie, or do something.
I don't think they're ever going to do a single Hulk movie.
Why?
Yeah. I think they're going to keep him as kind of like a sidekick, quote unquote.
Sucks. That sucks, man. You don't think he can hold it? No?
I think that they could do a very, very successful Hulk movie. I think the things that are holding them back are, like you said, the rights issues and the fact that they looked at the other two Hulk movies and they were like, these did okay.
Right.
And they're kind of afraid to do a Hulk film. I don't know. I think that I would like to see a Hulk movie, but,
Let me ask you another question, too. The deal ended, right, with Spider-Man. Is there one more movie? Is there one more movie before the deal ends, or is this it?
I'm pretty sure they're still doing the third
Spider-Man.
Far From Home. Yeah,
okay.
Homecoming 3.
Whatever the hell it is. Which, they got a lot more say now that Venom and Into Spider-Verse put them on the map, kind of. Yeah. So, here's the thing. Everybody knows I'm a huge Marvel fan, but I'm kind of worried though that after Endgame, it's going to simmer down to like without sizzle, and it's going to be a long time before it's built up again. And I think that you're having something that powerful. And I'm not saying that there has to be a huge thing to right after it, but they need to do something. You can't just have like I'm pretty sure there's going to be another Avengers after Endgame, even though they're saying no.
I think there'll be another crossover. I don't think it'll be titled The Avengers though.
Really? Wow.
I honestly think they're gonna call it like Ultimate Alliance or something like that, or Marvel Alliance or something like that.
Yeah.
Because kind of going off what you were saying, it's gonna be interesting to see what each movie's building toward. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is gonna be the main threat? And there's only really, to me, there are two threats that you build towards. You either go all in and you do Galactus.
Right.
Or you do Kang the Conqueror, because he was either created or was influenced by what happens at the end of Endgame. Time is disrupted or something, and that makes him aware of the MCU or brings him into the MCU, something like that.
I think what they would do is I think that you could do a Fantastic Four movie where in the 60s they launched a rocket, and then due to some type of thing in space with them getting the cosmic powers, they get thrown into a time warp thing where they come back now with powers and don't even realize it's been like 40 years that they're gone, or 50 years, or whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they may do something like that. And I guess they find out maybe can manipulate stuff with Dr. Doom with that too, and that they're rich because of whatever they did before they left or something. I don't know. I don't know how that would work with the Fantastic Four. I mean, I want it to work with Dr. Doom and all that stuff, but they would have to do stuff in the past. I don't think they could do it like, oh, now they get their powers in 2021 or whatever the hell year it's going to be,
I honestly think they might do it modern day, because if they do a 60s kind of thing, I could see the casual audience being like, oh, this is just a ripoff of Captain America. And
well, I don't know.
Well, I mean, honestly,
unless they tie the Red Skull and the Cosmic Cube with messing up their trajectory coming back home.
Well, that's what I was about to say, is that maybe if there is some kind of time distortion or something in Endgame, that maybe that's what happens to them. Like, when they restore everybody, it causes like a ripple effect throughout time, and when the Fantastic Four, before they get their powers, are going into space, or even if it's modern day and they're going into space or something, they get hit by cosmic rays or something because of however Endgame gets resolved.
The Infinity Gauntlet or some
shit,
gives
them their powers or something. What would be interesting?
What?
If Dr. Doom rose to power during the decimation event, because the leadership of his country was wiped away when Thanos did the snap, and he came into power and brought stability back to the country.
Yeah, but the only thing, see, the problem with that is that Doctor Doom is a complex character. Okay, he went to school with Reed Richards, and they were rivals because everybody was competing to be the biggest, smartest person. So him and Reed's, they were constantly rivals in school, and the whole thing, it's not just him taking over Latveria. It was the fact that besides he was being rich and his family was ruling Latveria or whatever, right? He made a mistake, a miscalculation that burned his face off almost, right? And then because he was traumatized and he hated Richards because Richard had the right calculation, he goes to the Tibetan monks, whatever, and they forge this mask onto him because he's the leader of Latveria, but he has this thing on. It makes his face even worse because the thing is molded to his face even more, right? And he just, the anger and the pain generate this I don't give an F attitude, I'm going to conquer everybody type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes his ego overload because he's in massive pain. And then he already is the ruler of Latveria. He does not take over anything. But
no. But you got to remember though that's the comic origin. We're
but there's also
about
the other side thing too. The side thing is that his mother, Soul, was taken from. That was another thing. She was a sorceress.
I know.
That was a side thing. Okay, but yeah, got it. So
but they're not gonna. I'm telling you, they're not gonna do that.
No,
because they're gonna if they try to introduce Doctor Doom into the MCU, they're gonna try to make it more believable for the casual audience. Because if you go to the casual audience and you start saying his mother was a sorcerer, he has this thing.
Well, they never had that until later on, like the magic, shit like that. Yeah.
So the casual audience, you've got to you got to resonate with them, and this idea of somebody coming into power during a time of crisis really does resonate with that audience.
Victor Von Doom, yeah.
So I think it would be smart to say, he came into power because basically you can still have that whole thing where his family was very wealthy and they were influencers and whatnot. But when Latveria, when the government or their rulers were wiped away, the country fell into chaos until he came into power and said, I'm going to set this right.
Right.
And then from there, you can do the whole thing with the ego because after, now if everyone gets restored, now he has the former government saying, hey, we're back. You're not in charge. He's like, no, I am in charge because I'm doing a better job than any of you ever did.
Right.
So you can play off something like that. You can still have him and Reed Richards being friends and them going to
school. They weren't really friends. They were kind of like rivals.
Or rivals, I should say.
Yeah, whatever they are, yeah.
You can still do all of that. I'm not saying get rid of that. I'm just saying that because it looks like if they do the Fantastic Four, if they're going to do it in the modern day, I really think that they're going to try to tie in to the MCU, and I don't think there would be a better way to do that than to have, Victor Von Doom come into power in that way. Or maybe it's after Endgame where he's like, look what happened. I wouldn't let this happen or something like that, But I don't know. Maybe they're going to go directly from the comic and say everything you saw in the comic is going to be in these movies.
Right. I just hope that they don't mess up the Marvel MCU as we know it, like where you don't know what's real from the time is so screwed up now that you're like, wait a minute, that didn't happen, but this happened, but that I don't want them.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I really do.
I hate when they do that in the comics. It's just so annoying. You have no idea. It's like
I think that characters that you thought were dead are going to be alive, and then
I never saw a funeral for Quicksilver, so I never believed that Quicksilver was dead, because if Quicksilver was really dead, you would have a funeral and you wouldn't have her smiling that she's an Avenger.
He was supposed to survive.
I didn't see him die. I didn't see no.
He was supposed to.
Yeah, I didn't see no death to me. So if he shows up in Endgame, I won't be surprised at all, because I never saw him die. But Crossbones could be alive again. Wasn't Thanos supposed to start doing weird shit where he brought Peggy Carter back and all that other shit? Isn't she supposed to be in it too? Agent Carter?
I've heard a lot of weird things. For some reason, there's like this huge theory online that Ultron is in this movie, and people are convinced. Like there was that whole thing with the Super Bowl footage where it sounds like his voice, and
well, but
there are people that are convinced.
There wasn't a rumor that the only way he can get home in space is he activates Ultron.
He builds Ultron, yeah,
in space to save him.
Yep.
Yep. And all right, I'll create this mess, but once we beat Thanos, then I'll deal with this shit.
Well, someone brought up a line from Age of Ultron where Tony Stark literally says, "Ultron is our endgame."
Mm-hmm.
So people are like, "Huh, we never really saw Ultron die, now did we?"
Well, Vision blasted the last one, right? Supposedly.
Well, he blasted him, but it was off screen.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, "Did he really do it?"
I think he did.
I think he did, but I think there might be a way that Ultron survived.
There might have been like he might have put himself in a backup file or some, there might have been some weird backup thing, So in other words, the only way to beat your greatest enemy is to use your next greatest enemy?
I guess. I mean, because when you think about it, Ultron is like a product of the Infinity Stones, sort of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, it is possible. I mean, it's the same thing with Scarlet Witch. Like, her powers are a product of literally I think the same stone. So, the Mind Stone. So, I mean,
Vision has this. Doesn't Vision have? What does Vision have? What stone did he have?
Vision had the Mind Stone, but apparently the origin of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch's powers is that they were experimented on with the Mind Stone.
Okay.
Because Hydra had Loki's staff, which contained the Mind Stone.
Right.
So Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch got their powers from the Mind Stone, apparently. Then Ultron was made,
and Vision
allegedly from the Mind Stone, and then
Vision was made from the.
And then Vision was made, but he was made because of Ultron, and then Stark and Banner kind of perfected it. Right. There's an off chance that maybe Ultron put a backup file of himself into Vision, and now that the Mind Stone is gone, he's going to take over? I don't know.
Well, another thing, let me ask you now.
There's a lot of things.
There was another rumor that because the Vision creates Adam Warlock. Because Adam Warlock is the one in the Infinity Gauntlet that kind of defeated Thanos.
Well, we saw his cocoon at the end of Volume 2.
Well, then Volume 1 the cocoon broke too, didn't it?
Well, it was in the Collector's Collection, but that was just an Easter egg.
Right,
but it was officially in the after credit scene of
technically, look, in the Marvel Universe, there's technically two cocoons. He was called him, and then there's one called her.
Right.
Like a man and a woman. One became Adam Warlock, one became just called her, which is whatever. So there's supposed to be two, a man and a woman. And Adam Warlock is the one that beats Thanos. He's the one that creates the Infinity Watch, that they watch over the gems so that the Infinity Gauntlet is never formed again. He has the Soul Stone. Gamora joins him, because by the end of the Guardians, I guess that's what will happen, All right.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring Adam Warlock into this because that would be the same issue with Captain Marvel. It's like you have all of a sudden this person shows up.
Yeah, but Adam Warlock though was the one that was in the Infinity Gauntlet comic though. He's the one that did. So if they brought him in, it wouldn't really be. I wouldn't be pissed about it because he's the one that defeats Thanos.
I would be upset with it because again, it's like, now you've got this guy who just shows up in the movies out of nowhere.
Because kind of that's what happened with the Vision. The Vision was built, and he's the one that took out Ultron. So it's like you're doing the same movie again, aren't you?
It's an issue both ways. The only thing is that Vision like Ultron wasn't the villain that was being built up for years. Like Ultron was the villain for Age of Ultron, you know? So I mean, it was like, okay, but if you're, my thing is, nobody should just show up in Endgame and beat Thanos. It has to be the people that we've been following.
We don't expect to see like Wolverine show up and stab him with the claws.
Right.
That would be ridiculous.
I don't want to see like they're fighting Thanos and then all of a sudden the Silver Surfer shows up and it's like, what the hell? And then
who's that? What do you mean? And then everybody's there. Yeah, right.
And it's like, wait a minute, what? You know,
Well, I mean, ain't they doing that with the Eternals? Aren't they going to show up?
I heard they're going to show up in the end credits scene.
Oh God!
And something's going to happen. I guess that's going to be the setup for it. You know what's really worrying me? It's like, what if the Eternals are the next like major threat that they have to worry about?
Pathetic. That'll be
like pathetic. They start out bad and then.
Well, the Celestials technically created the Eternals, and the Celestials are like. I mean, maybe they create the Eternals because of what Thanos did.
I heard that potentially, or not that I heard, I shouldn't say that. I always thought that maybe the Eternals could, or excuse me, the Celestials could like kind of take notice of the MCU after all this goes down.
Right.
And be like, someone's got to go in there and put order in there.
Right.
And do something. And then they become like the main threat.
Well, see, that's the thing. They can't have the Celestials involved because the Celestials are just, it's impossible.
No, I know.
Even now, there's multiple. They're like, no, that's not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you would need the Infinity Gauntlet to fight them.
And but it's kind of boring too because they're so freaking powerful. It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's boring because I'm reading it out like, oh, anything but this story. Like,
I honestly think some of them might show up in Endgame.
Right,
I really do.
They would have them and they come like this and they're like, with the thumb up, the thumb down.
Yeah.
And then it's like, uh-oh.
Well, there are a lot of rumors that that there's going to be a scene in this movie where Doctor Strange, or a version of Doctor Strange, converses with an all CGI character. And they're saying that all CGI character might be the Living Tribunal.
Right.
And the Living Tribunal basically tells them, you better fix this, or else your universe gets destroyed.
Right.
So, I mean,
are they on the Soul Stone technically? Are they in the Soul Gem or not?
I've heard that since like the end of Endgame, or excuse me, since the end of Infinity War, that they're not dead, they're in the Soul Stone.
It better not be that they're in different universes. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
They're gonna be able to undo the snap, right?
I don't know. Because nobody ever debunked that rumor that the movie ends with them being in two separate universes, and it's the people that disappeared that make up the second universe.
I mean, wasn't there a TV show like that? Was the half the people just disappeared?
I don't know.
There was a TV show on HBO. What the hell was it?
Oh, was it the one about the Rapture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a different. I mean, that's a different.
No, I know, but that's just. Okay.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see like what they do after Endgame, because that's it. I mean, that's
you need a breather. I know you need a breather after that.
Oh yeah.
Which is why we got Spider-Man as a jokingly like a nice, But you do need something big. You can't just after Spider-Man have like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and stupid shit like that. It won't work.
No, it won't.
No, I know it won't work. Like
you're right.
You tell me, oh, hey man, I guess we can't wait, right? For 2020, we got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Eternals, right? Hey, can't wait to go to the movies, right? It's like, no.
Well, I mean, really,
it's like, okay.
It's true, because it's like, I'll put it into another perspective. It's like the Monsterverse, right? Like let's say King of the Monsters does really well, Godzilla vs. Kong does really well, and they're like, yeah, we're going to do 3 more movies. And everyone's like, awesome. And then they're like, hey, what's the next movie?
First we're doing Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, it's like, well, It's like, well, we're doing Godzilla 3, and they're like, oh, cool, who is he fighting? Kamacuras.
Oh,
like,
what? Right.
It's like, what? He's like, didn't he just fight Kong? Like, yeah, but Kamacuras, guys.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, I'll go see it, but that's really disappointing. Like,
hey, he's gonna fight Biollante, a plant. It's like, oh, all right. I never liked that movie.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually think that if they ever did Biollante in the MonsterVerse, I think they could actually do it pretty well.
Yeah, I don't like what they did though in our movie. I'm like, oh.
Oh no, I don't think she'd be the same.
I'm like, oh, that's nice.
I always imagined, and they actually kind of did this. This was my idea that they used in the anime Godzilla universe, where I always imagined a scene where Biollante like shows up in the middle of a city, and she just like her vines like take over the city, like they're like literally like they're wrapping around buildings and stuff, and it almost becomes like her like demented forest almost.
Yeah.
And then you have a scene where Godzilla shows up and he's going through this like now like twisted Biollante city / forest. And then he fights her in that. I was like, oh, that would be so cool.
I liked it much better when whatever Biollante was in space, mixed with a supernova, and then you got like Space Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the theories about where he came from. Yeah.
That was great. Space Godzilla was awesome. I was like, oh, this is great. I love that. The kids loved it too. I mean, I loved it. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Even Destroyer, I loved that too.
I think Biollante and Destroyer could be two monsters that they use in the MonsterVerse.
Destroyer definitely. If he doesn't show up in like Kong or something, he's gonna show up somewhere. But that was an awesome monster. But yeah, going back to the Marvel, you need God. You need something like you have like Marvel movies that are like here, right? And then you have something that let's just experiment and let's do like Speedball the movie. And it's like, okay. You know, like they'll do some experimentations, which you don't know if it's going to take off or not, you know? And then you get stuff like, I'm sorry, but like you have this, then you have this, right? Eternals are kind of like this. Because remember when they announced, Chris, The Inhumans was a movie?
Yes,
and
I remember that.
Remember I flipped out on here?
Yes.
I'm like, you have to cancel it, right? And I'm like, I'm like, no, Chris, they got to cancel it. You got to get it out of there, right? We made like a huge fuss that never was there ever a movie canceled from the MCU. And I'm like, you have to cancel it. You have to get it out of there, right? And they did. Not because they listened to us, but they did. But then they tried it on TV. It didn't work either.
No.
That's like Inhumans. Don't do the Eternals. Don't do it. Like, give me something else. Give me New Warriors, Nova. Like do not go. Do the Guardians of the Galaxy in the 30th century or some shit. Whatever. But please do not do that. Give me something, but don't do that. Eternals, first of all, here's the problem, right? It's very easy to do a Black Widow movie or a Doctor Strange movie, right? The Inhumans weren't even on Earth. They were on the damn moon, right?
Right.
So that's kind of like, how are they gonna act like humans if they're not humans? You know, and how are they just gonna know all kind of slang and everything else too, right? Now you have people that are totally not humans at all in a corner of space, right? You've never really done that. It's not gonna work. I mean, this isn't Star Wars. You're not gonna think that no one's gonna, even when they do it in the comics, it's a goddamn joke. They've had decades to build the Eternals and they never did it. They never did it. Ever. And they tried too, and it didn't work. So now this is worthy. This is why I can't understand it, Chris. The Eternals is worthy of having a movie before, like, Nova, or like, what? Give me something, Chris. Like, a Hulk movie, or like I don't know, or Namor the Submariner, or something. Like, are you kidding me?
Even Thor 4. I mean,
right? Like Eternals. Like, what are you talking about?
The Fantastic Four. I mean,
right? I mean, like this. That is like your. That's like the shit you do with like low budget. Like if Marvel decided, okay, no, I'm not to bash anything, but you got like Cloak and Dagger on Freeform, right?
Yeah.
You put Eternals on a Freeform. I'm not saying anything bad because that's probably an insult to Cloak and Dagger. It's probably good, but like, yeah, that's what you do with that. Okay, I would have rather seen Squirrel Girl movie that's bad than Eternals. It's bad. That's bad. No way.
I mean, honestly,
you know what? I hope I'm wrong, Chris. I hope like this. If this shit was the greatest shit ever, I'll of course I'll admit it.
You don't know. None of us know. But I mean,
I've been wrong before, but like
I'd rather see like a Nick Fury movie before that.
Right. Like this is like, oh god. Because I don't see anybody. Hey man, I can't wait to see Eternals. I don't see that ever happening in this timeline.
I don't think anybody.
I think someone's gonna have to create a Mandela effect to make the Eternals popular. Because I don't see it happening. There's no way. Maybe they got a device on CERN or something. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way.
I think right now the people are just like those who are excited for Captain Marvel are excited for Captain Marvel. Everybody's excited for Endgame. And a large majority of people are excited from Far From Home. And then after that, it's like, when's Black Panther 2? Like,
I've never seen on Facebook people like, hey man, I can't wait for the Eternals.
Yeah.
Have you?
No.
Have you seen that anywhere?
No. I think if you talked to like 10 people in a row who aren't like hardcore Marvel fans and were like, hey, the Eternals are coming out, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Like, pardon my language, but like, like that, and then if you say, oh, it's a Marvel movie, most of those people will probably be like, wait, I thought Spider-Man was next. Like,
and I guarantee you, if you asked 1,000 people about the Eternals, I guarantee you every single one of them will say, didn't Cap date an Eternal, Cersei? Because they had this one Eternal that she was amazing, she was hot, and she was totally opposite Captain America. But she was like a T, she was this, and you're like, and everybody's like, how the hell did he get with her? Like in the comics, it was like totally crazy shit. The people probably just got the book to see them together, right? It was mind-boggling, right? Mind-boggling. And I guarantee you, if you ask anybody, I bet you all those people that are comic fans mention Cersei. Because that's the only thing they know. They'll know Icarus because they'll know that. It wasn't that, I don't see reprints of Eternals. Do you? You see trades? No. I don't see nothing. Nothing. But I'm sure they're going to do it now, though. Marvel's getting ready, right? Tomorrow I'll get the new previews tomorrow, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is the big thing, War of the Realms now. But I'll see tomorrow if there's an Eternals book. God, Eternals. That's like the Starjammers. You ever hear of them? Cyclops' father was in space. Yeah. Cyclops and Havoc, brothers, right? In the X-Men?
Mm-hmm.
Their father was named Corsair, right? I guess he left their mother on Earth with the kids, and he was traveling throughout space with a superhero group called the friggin' Starjammers. And he's like a space pirate. Cyclops' father. Real father. And Havoc's father. Yeah. You never hear about that. Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds a bit strange.
Never hear about that. It's ridiculous. Look it up, Chris. It's ridiculous. You'll never see that. You probably might not see that in a movie ever. That's like you'll never see Spider-Man make a deal with Mephisto in a movie. Ever.
Oh, gosh.
Ever. I will be dead before they ever have that movie. Ever. So. Anyway. I often say you can't get any worse than that. But we're about to get something worse to come. Possibly.
I can't wait just to see how strange it is, to be honest with you.
The Eternals. Oh my god. Can't wait to see this shit. I want to see if they look ridiculous like they do in the comics.
That's DC's time to strike. When the Eternals come out, put out Justice League 2.
And you know what the funny thing is? I guess the Inhumans never got involved when Thanos was attacking, right? And they're on the moon, right? They're like, yeah, I think we'll pass this time.
Yeah. Mr. Black Bolt could have screamed at Thanos before he got all the stones and kept him at bay. But
you know what the sad part is? The sad part is that Marvel tried to use that Inhumans sucked, right? And people were pissed to try to make them in the comics hated. They actually tried this, Chris. That let's just make them villains. That the Terranian Mist is killing all mutants, and they actually killed Cyclops because of the Inhumans, right? Which is a bad idea, mind you. So now the fans completely hate the Inhumans, right? And then they tried to bring them back, and nobody wants to see it. So they had to do a book, Death of the Inhumans, or something, whatever the hell it was. But they're just, nobody wants to see the Inhumans death. They're done. The only thing they want to see is Lockjaw, the dog, that teleports. But nobody else cares about anybody else. And maybe Crystal, because Crystal was dating Johnny Storm. But that's it. But anyway. Endgame is going to be the Endgame. And then, man, Shang-Chi. Kung Fu fighting. Wow.
No, then we have to hope. Then we have to hope that Far From Home doesn't piss you off like Homecoming did.
Oh my god, man. It's gonna be like Captain Planet.
Dude, I might fly up to Staten Island just to go see Far From Home.
Yeah, you know what? We'll go see it together. I tell you right now, I know people are dying for my reaction to that. Dying. People might pay. People might pay in Super Chat.
I couldn't wait to get home from the theater after Homecoming because I knew as soon as I walked out, I was like, he's gonna rip this. I can't wait.
You know, it's the first time ever I went to the movies. I think I told you, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? Right? Yeah. And it was loud. And people were like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I was starting to get up. It's like, what are you doing? I'll get out of here. What do you mean? No. And they're stay down. Never.
When he was on the Washington Monument and he was like, I'm too high up. Oh God. I could just imagine your reaction. What the fuck did he just say?
Well, you know what it is? You know what gets me pissed? It gets me pissed that assholes that love that come aboard Spider-Man now and try to put shit in there like he's afraid of heights because of Homecoming. And I'm like, motherfucker, are you fucking kidding me? I get hot. Hot. Because I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. See, I'm so hot that I'm like Tobey Maguire when he throws the glasses down because Doc Ock took Mary Jane, I can see him. No, I'm so hot. No, it's like he swings throughout New York City constantly, right? There is no way he's afraid of heights ever. Ever. Just like in Infinity War, he's going high and no, you're not afraid. When he loses his spider sense in the comics, right? Because the spider sense kind of turns off any fear there is, right? So in the comic, when he lost his powers, and he lost his powers, and as an idiot, he goes to web swing off the building. He almost had a heart attack because he doesn't have the spider sense.
Right.
He is afraid of heights. But because of the spider sense, he doesn't have afraid of heights at all. He's a spider. Spiders are not. Here's the thing. Spiders are not afraid. You see them all the time. They're not afraid. You don't hear them scream when they're swinging off the web, right? Ah! No, because it's the thing in them. They're not afraid of heights ever. Ever. And when you see shit like that, I want to break something when I see that, because it's like you have no idea who Spider-Man is when they do that. I
don't know what was better. I mean, that, and then the thing with the parachute, and then he couldn't get out of the truck or the warehouse, wherever he was.
They had to show the Staten Island ferry, right? And I'm watching this, and like literally, I'm like this, like this, like I'm effing embarrassed that he almost killed people because he didn't know how to web the thing. That the vulture was.
I'm like, you're surrounded by water on all sides.
You have the supervillain who may not want to be a supervillain to help you because you don't know what you're doing. That the supervillain who actually kills people on a whim, right? He killed the guy that was going to be a shocker, right?
Yeah.
He kind of wanted to help the kid not kill people. A kid, I don't think don't do, like, and I'm like, oh my god, like, and like, I was just, I couldn't believe it. And then when he's running in the forest, and it's like, I can't web swing anywhere. It's like, what? It's like, wait, what are you doing? And then he got locked in a van. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, you want me to like? I mean, is that funny to me? Like, he got locked in a van. Oh, I can't get out, right? Then he got locked in a warehouse, right? And I'm like, this Spider-Man's a fucking idiot. Like, I mean, like what? And then he's wearing the suit, and it's like, why is this Knight Rider? Like, like, where is Michael Knight? Like, I was like, or Deathlock or something. Like, wait, what? Like,
the instant kill protocol.
And all of a sudden, like, Tony Stark makes webs now? I'm like, wait, what? Oh my god. So I was having a heart attack with the whole experience. Especially that he didn't have spider sense. And you know what, Chris? In the trailer, he still doesn't have the spider sense.
I know.
Because the guy, Nick Fury, shot his friend in the neck. And he didn't even flinch. He's brushing his teeth. And he turned around, and the thing's coming out of his mouth like the toothpaste. And he's like, oh, he just shot my friend. He could have
legitimately shot both of them and then just walked out of the room.
And I'm like, the kid doesn't, like, how is the hair standing up, right, on his arms? But now you go back to Sony and he doesn't have spider sense again. And I'm like, oh my god.
I saw people were trying to justify it like, well, it's because the spider sense knew that Nick Fury wasn't a threat. And I was like, how? He just shot his friend.
The spider sense is not an entity.
Right.
Okay? It doesn't work like that. It's not it doesn't have a consciousness. Okay?
Right.
It's sort of like the spider that say the web breaks, the spider immediately makes something quick, like to hold on to, right? Like it knows how to land, and like a cat lands on its feet, the spider just doesn't break.
It's like an enhanced instinct, basically.
Right. So in other words, it would not recognize, the spider sense is not an entity to know that Peter Parker knows Aunt May or like whatever. Like in the movie with Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi, the spider sense went off when people were coming in the room that his identity was in jeopardy. And then he had to hop on the ceiling, right? Like, it's like that. It's not like, oh, it's okay, spider sense. No. So it goes off constantly over everything, right? But it's more potent when it's like a real threat. Like it could be a minor threat, it'd be a little bit, but like it goes off like crazy if it was Thanos. But like it doesn't work like that. So, and this is what gets me is like when people like do movies or comics and they have no idea about Spider-Man, or they make it like they do, but then they don't, and it's like, oh god. And then I was reading something the other day, and like Spider-Man's like, oh man, I was afraid of heights, I was like, shut the hell up! What are you talking about? Oh, I got a headache. I get a migraine right now, Chris. Just talking about like Homecoming, like right above my eye. Like I'm starting to. I'm like, it's not a heart attack, but it's like a pain, like right here. Like I think my eye is swelling up because I'm just like flashbacks of how angry that movie. I got right there. Oh, right there, Chris. Like angry about Homecoming. Hey, there it is. Angry about. I need to drink more water. Angry about Homecoming. Oh god. Maybe that's when I went and bought a DC comic after like 30 years or something. I was angry.
Yeah. I remember I got home and I was like, hey, you ready to do a cast? You were like, I haven't even seen it yet. And I was like, oh.
I was hot. It's what sucks? It's like when your favorite things suck, it's like your world's fucked up. I don't even think I was able to sleep at night. I think I was sitting there and I'm staring at the walls. And I think I might have been just talking to myself, which is like, not that I'm going crazy, but I'm like, he couldn't get out of the bed. I was like, wait, the rubble's on him, right? And he's crying. Like, stop crying. Like, what are you talking about? And then I got Billy like, how dare you not identify with him? Shut up with the 15-year-old. Cut it out. Doesn't do that shit. Even in a comic.
I would have been all in for that scene if like the spider sense didn't render it useless, Like
it's like, oh my god, there's no spider sense. And there's no great power, no great responsibility, no spider sense, no Uncle Ben. This is when shit's wrong. When people take liberties to try to do their own shit, that's like saying, hey, you know what? Godzilla needs to have breasts and be a woman, right?
Yeah.
We would have been pissed, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, if that would have happened in that movie,
you know what?
I would have come on here and I probably would have like ripped off one of my limbs. Like no joke.
I probably would have burned every single Godzilla I've ever had. And I just like
I would have written Toho a letter. I really would have. I would have written Toho a letter, handwritten, and mailed it to them. And been like, what the fuck were you thinking?
I would have made myself a millionaire so I could buy it and fix it.
Dude.
Like, God.
Oh my gosh.
It's like some of the stuff that they do. Did you see what they did recently? People got all offended. They said that Spider-Ham, the hot dogs that he eats, was human meat. Because in his universe, they cook humans and that's the hot dogs. And this was like you actually done this, and of course people are gonna flip out. It's an innocent character like that, but that's not. It's like, what? Now you get all weird. Oh God, I can't. Homecoming is gonna, if there's like 5 more Homecomings, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to last.
I just hope this next one is good. I really do.
I mean, I don't want it to. And did they make a poster where he's kissing her upside down?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and she's Mary Jane now. She's MJ now. She wasn't the other character. She is MJ.
Great.
Right. Nice. Okay. So wait, they're making water popular again, right?
Yeah.
Water, sand, dirt.
Fire.
Why don't they just sell dirt in a bag? And say, oh, this is from Spider-Man. Just sell dirt in a bag.
Well, somebody there was a funny post. It was like, hey, look, the leaked action figures for Avengers Endgame, and it was like Captain America, Thor, and then the Spider-Man one was just like it was the blister package with sand in it.
Right.
I was like,
you could get put like dirt in a cup, water in a cup, sand in a cup, and what else? Fire. You would have to do fire too.
Get some matches.
Like give you a match. Like that's your action figures.
Look, it's Molten Man.
And then you could buy a fishbowl and put it on your head. And be like, okay.
Yeah. You remember to drill a hole in the top so you can still breathe.
Not for nothing, but that would be a cool. You know, if anything comes from Far From Home, please let there be a Listen, hear me out. Please let there be at Halloween time this full-on Mysterio costume.
Oh, they'll do it before that.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if they make a costume, I might get dressed up as Mysterio for Halloween.
They'll do it before that.
I will buy that thing, and I will put that fishbowl on my head, and we will do a cast like that. Because
that could be one of your new characters.
I love Mysterio.
Lord212.
Right, I love Mysterio, man.
Or Matrix Mysterio 212.
You know, the funny thing is that on the Marvel things forums, I was Spider-Lord 212. But yeah, so Far From Home. Hopefully it is Far From Homecoming and totally different. Because if not, oh my God, Chris, we're gonna have to do a 5-part series with that one. Ranting and raving and
I hope it's really good, but then again, I know if it's not, that I'm gonna be able to do a cast with you when you're gonna just fucking lose it.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. I know. I'm like, oh God, I'm scared that I might, you
don't know how much I want you to let's say hypothetically.
I know you want me to be pissed. I don't want to be pissed, but I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't want you to be pissed. I want it to be good. I want us to come on here and do a 5-part series about how good it was. But if it's not good, you don't know how much I want you to come on here and you don't even do the intro. You're just looking into the camera and you're just like, we're 2 for 2! 2 for 2!
And you know how critical I am when they make new Spider-Man books, right?
Right.
And of all things, you throw one of my favorite characters in there, Mysterio, right? And this is Spider-Man symbiote. This is another book, Chris, right?
Oh, gosh.
This is Venom. Well, this is the symbiote before it was Venom when it was with Peter Parker, right? So to hook everybody into this series, they put Mysterio on here. Now, everybody knows that when he had the black suit on, he never fought Mysterio. So now they want to act like, oh shit, what's this? He did! Just to get the fucking book. But, how are you doing a fucking book like that? Why are you doing a book like that?
Mysterio a symbiote.
Well, Miles Morales might be getting a symbiote, I'm hearing rumors, on Comic Book Day and on May. I think Free Comic Book Day. There's a rumor that something game-changing is going to happen. And we got Venom and Spider-Man and Miles Morales in the comic. So something game-changing. So I don't know if he's going to get a suit. I'm leaning towards the fact that Miles Morales is going to get a suit. Because Spider-Gwen got a suit. Everybody got a symbiote at one point in time. So we shall see. Oh, God. What else is going to get me upset? Probably Ghostbusters 3.
Oh, gosh.
That's another thing.
I heard some stuff about that, like the casting and who they're looking for. And
I mean, have you ever seen Stranger Things?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because of that one thing with them dressing up like Ghostbusters was the whole idea for this. That, it would be cool if Ghostbusters were children. Dan Aykroyd was pushing the shit out of that back then. Because he even came in an interview after that, Chris, and said kids should be Ghostbusters. Right? You heard that or no?
I didn't hear that, but I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
And Jason Reitman said that he was the first Ghostbuster fan because he knew what was going on the set because he was a child, and he dreamed of putting the proton pack on as a child. So now that he's grown up and a big director, he's still thinking the mentality that, oh, hey, wouldn't it be cool? Like, I wanted to be a Ghostbuster as a child if they're children that are Ghostbusters. And that technically is not what it's supposed to be, though. Like it's everybody has their own. It's like Zack Snyder, right? I guess when Zack Snyder was playing with the Superman toys, right? He probably had Superman break Zod's neck off the action figure. It's like, one day I'm gonna do, right? One day I'm gonna do this shit, and it's like, wait, what? No, Superman wouldn't do that. It's like, oh man. People have like, it's not the accurate thing, but if they get power, they do their own weird stuff. You know? All right, that's it, Chris. I'm out of breath with this whole Homecoming thing.
Has Homecoming drained you again?
It's drained my spider sense, and now I need to put my glasses back on because I'm going blind. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like, I just want to watch stuff that we like, right? And I don't want to get pissed off. But lately, we're getting pissed off, Chris, though. It's not just Spider-Man, though. It's like, you know, we were talking about the last night, right? And then we're talking about Doctor Who, and it's like, getting angry. Like, constantly, like why is our favorite shit getting wrecked? You know?
It's true.
It's like we have nowhere to hide. We have nowhere to go. Like, every franchise that we love is getting fucked up, right? Like Alien.
Oh, yeah.
And Predator. It's like what do we do, Chris? Like, we
literally, we have to fall back to Skull Island. I mean, like, that's our last
Chris, I think this might be all Thanos' fault. Like, that snap created all this weird shit.
Yeah.
Like Predator and like, you know, maybe the guy Shane Black, he actually got hit in the head when he was filming Predator, which made him write like shit for this one. Maybe, or director, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
I blame it on the Cloverfield paradox, but...
And you know what? I'm telling you, like, after all this stuff with Alien, people just can't wait for that mobile game, man. Because that's what everybody wants.
Oh, yeah. It's already out.
Hey, did it sell? No. But there you go, you know. The only thing, you know what's funny? The only thing I've been talking about today, I'm talking in accents. Sharon hates when I talk in accents, right? She hates it. I was talking to the kids, and the biggest thing that I keep repeating the whole week is I love that speech from The Walking Dead with Alpha. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, yeah.
The Alpha speech. I am Alpha. Your people, kill my people. There will be no conflict. And I keep repeating the whole week. It's like, that shit's in my head. I love that. That was great. Walking Dead's been sucking, but that shit's been great. But like, we haven't even done Doctor Who, man. Because where do we begin with that too? Things were just not working out. I don't know, man.
It's true.
I don't know what to do. I mean, Game of Thrones, hopefully they don't screw that up. God, what's happening, Chris? What didn't they not screw up? What name a franchise that's not screwed up right now?
Godzilla.
Well, it was with the animated and the friggin' Shin Gojira.
Well, I don't consider that screwed up because, you know, at least we have the MonsterVerse. You know what I'm saying? Which is doing well so far.
All right, so far Godzilla we got going for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And the world of Godzilla thing sounds promising too. So I mean,
yes.
You know.
Yes. Is there anything DC that's promising?
The animated movies are all pretty good.
Is there a movie that's promising? It's all quiet here, crickets. Nothing. We got nothing to look forward to.
I can't really...
Nothing right now.
Maybe that Batman movie if they get a good Batman.
No, the Joker. When's that coming out? Soon, right?
What, the Batman?
No, Joker.
Oh, that's in
this year.
October.
Yeah. Oh, but we don't know, right?
No, I'm talking about the Batman movie, like the.
Okay. Well, like
maybe.
I mean, but the Batman's like 2 years away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Wonder Woman good? We don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not like super excited for Wonder Woman, but
are we excited about anything with DC right now?
No, I'm not.
Birds of Prey? No, nothing.
No.
Oh my God. What is there to get excited about? There's got to be stuff to get excited about.
I mean, I'm excited about Star Wars Episode 9, but I mean, I'm in like the boat alone. Like.
Right. And then tomorrow is what? We get a trailer for Dark Phoenix.
Yay.
Yeah. And right. Okay. That's probably going to suck. I don't like when things suck, Chris.
I honestly think people are just waiting for the announcement that the X-Men are somehow going to be in the MCU.
Right.
I think that's the next major thing that they announce for the X-Men.
You know, reflecting, there's a lot of things been sucking, Chris. A lot. We've been complaining a lot, right?
Yeah.
We've been complaining so much that people think we're complainers.
People think that we like to complain.
Right.
And it's like, watch a cast where we're really happy with something.
Right.
What's
and
the better cast?
Like, people think we're haters and trolls, and we hate things for views and stuff.
No.
No, not really.
No.
No. Sorry. No. I'm sorry, but as a Spider-Man fan, I don't know why he's dressed like Wonder Woman. I'm sorry. Like, he has a shield. He has a tiara thing on his head. I know it has to do with Asgard, but I don't know why Spider-Man looks like Wonder Woman. Can anybody explain that to me? Yeah. He uses webs. Why does he need that? He has a spider sense. Why does he need a shield? Right?
I guess the shield.
If you have your spider sense, you don't need a shield. He has a sword. Why does he have a sword? Why does Spider-Man have a sword? Could somebody explain something to me? Who's the writer? Like, I want to go to your house.
Wouldn't it be cool?
I want to know.
Spider-Man had a sword?
Could you just explain to me? You have spider sense. So you could be like twisting, right? Nothing can hit you, right? Why do you have a shield? Why do you have a thing on your head like Thor or Wonder Woman? And what are you doing with that sword? Like, if you're holding a shield and you're holding a sword, right? And you have a helmet on, how are you going to swing a web? How is he going to web swing?
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? I want to know how this makes sense. This is common sense. If you're going to work in Marvel and you're going to do a weird storyline, right? You need to explain to me how you know nothing of Spider-Man that you're going to. How could he shoot a web if he's holding a sword or a shield? So he's wearing like, you see this shirt? See this, Chris?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's common sense, okay? This shirt won't protect me from bullets, right?
No.
This is a shirt, right?
Yeah.
Just okay. He's wearing like material, right? It's not armor plating Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
So he's basically wearing a t-shirt, right? So how is he going to be protected if he's wearing a t-shirt? Like that shield is really going to protect him? Why don't he just, if it's common sense, if you need to be protected, right? Wouldn't he make a new suit? Like, if that's how bad it is? Like, he's made other suits before. Like, he had remember the bulletproof suit when there was machine guns and everything, right? So why is he in a regular suit with a helmet on, a shield, and how could you shoot a web? So you're not Spider-Man anymore. You're somebody that's fighting with the Spider-Man outfit on. And this is why people don't understand what they're doing, I feel. Because if you knew Spider-Man, you knew he wouldn't be wearing that garbage. And this is the problems I have with people that just don't do a little research. You know? Just like this is a phenomenon I don't get either. Why would I care about this? Why would I care that everybody has adamantium and they're either gray, green, they're clones of each other? Like, okay, everybody has the same powers fighting each other. How is that interesting? It's not interesting. Just like they had a book called Thors. Remember, Chris?
Yeah.
Thors, Hulks. Not really. So I don't know. I'm ranting now. And that's it, really. So yeah. All right. We're out. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye for now.